had sex this week? I love the delayed response in that where people are like, am I allowed to answer? She said I can answer, yeah! That's a tester question. I'm just trying to gauge how much y'all been drinking tonight, because the more you drink, the more you inclined you are to scream for that. That's fine. I'm a very lucky man. I'm a comedian. I get to travel around this great country of ours, performing for many wonderful people, many wonderful places, but I just got back from doing a show in the worst place in the entire country. And I think we all know, if we think about it, we all know exactly where I'm talking about. So let's all just say it together now. Ready? Boston, Massachusetts. No? Yeah, horrible town. Who names a town after a bean? Come on! Boston's bad, man, because they want, they want to be the coolest, hippest city in the world. They really do, but they can never, I don't think they're ever going to achieve that because they're so fucking racist. They're so racist in Boston. And they don't even have the decency to try to hide it from everybody, right? They just want you to know, they wear it on their sleeve how racist they want you to know right up front. Because what happens when you drive into Boston, right? You see the welcome sign. It says, "Welcome to Boston, the city that never sleeps," with anyone outside their own race. You're like, whoa. Where's the exit to Maine? I hear Maine is nice. Let's just go there. Boston's bad. I'm from what most people usually call the worst place in the country. I'm from Florida. Very sorry about that. The best way to tell someone you're from Florida is just apologize immediately after. Like, everything's gonna make sense now. It's fine. We don't have, I mean, yes, there's a lot of bad things about Florida, but the worst thing in my opinion was we got nothing to be proud of at all. Like, there might be stuff there to be proud of, but we can't think of it at all, ever on the spot. Because if you ask someone, you go down there, you're like, hey, so what are you guys proud of the Sunshine State? I've tasted orange juice and I've heard about the face eating, so what else you got? What else is going on? And these people, they're put on the spot, they don't know what to say, they don't know how to answer the questions, so they just kind of just blurt out the first thing they think of, and they're always like, well, we got more strip clubs than anywhere else in the world. Like, yes, but Florida is also where HPV was invented, so really not like a trade-off in my mind. There's a lot of strip clubs there are. Some would say too many strip clubs. They all have to have some weird gimmick or like name to draw you in, right? And the weirdest strip club I've ever seen in my entire life, this is very real. This is about a 5-minute drive down the road from Disney World in Orlando, Florida. There is a strip, you know Disney World, the most happy, family-friendly place on earth? There is a strip club nearby. And it's just called Cheaters. Why beat around the bush? Cheaters. You know how every single strip club in the entire world, the international sign for strip club, it's always just it's like a neon lady, and she's just kicking her leg out. She's just doing this move forever. Because fellas, you know how this is the single sexiest thing a woman can do, right? Ladies, take note, this is the move. We like it when you look like Nolan Ryan winding up for a fastball. That's what we like. Cheaters had a neon sign out front, but instead of like your classic lady kicking her leg out, they didn't have one of those. Instead, they just had it was a neon sign of a guy, and he was just taking off his wedding ring. And he's kind of looking around the parking lot like, I hope I don't recognize anybody from church. Any Tom Petty fans in the room tonight? I've never heard someone get so mad about Tom Petty before. Tom Petty beat the shit out of my dad in 1968. Go fuck him. How do you... Tom Petty's a big deal in Florida, man. He gives a lot of money to nonprofits and stuff down there. Everybody loves him. He does good work down there. So he's a Big fans of Tom Petty down there in Florida. My favorite story about Tom Petty has to be the reason why he wrote the song "Won't Back Down." You guys know that song? Like, you can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. And like, he wrote that song because a crazed fan one time broke into his house while him and his family were asleep, and he lit a fire. And Tom Petty woke up in the middle of the night, saw it, got everybody out, saved his family, and the whole experience led him to write this song. And it's like, that's all well and good, Tom, but I think you still should have pressed charges. I don't think that was good enough. And you also didn't even mention anything about it in the song. Like, you didn't even talk about the crime at all. At least one time in the song, you could have just thrown in there, just like, and arson is bad, like, just once. Just something to throw it in there, you know? Sorry, I got my cheat sheet here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I got my set list written down. I don't care, yeah. Anybody else like weed more than their job? I'll remember my jokes, but I don't remember what order they come in. That's the marijuana's fault. We'll do some topical humor. Some stuff about the trending topics, the thing that we're all thinking about, the stuff on everybody's mind. Can we talk about my new hat? Can we talk? Does anybody like this hat?
What is it?
This guy fucking hates Tom Petty, but he loves this hat. I'll take it. It's fine. For anyone that can't see, it's just a normal black hat. It says "Killing It" in white letters. Very trashy hat. Very makes me look like a terrible person, but I love it. I love this hat. I wear it all the time. And the funny story behind this hat, how I got it was, so I live up in New York City now, and they have these little convenience stores. They're called bodegas. They sell everything. They sell a little everything. And I walk in one time in my local bodega in my neighborhood, and I see the guy, you know, putting up a bunch of these hats behind the counter, and I just need to rush in real quick and get a coffee. And I saw these hats, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get real drunk and want to buy that hat one day. I can see it in my future. And sure enough, like a week later, I came stumbling in, like 3 in the morning, had a little too much to drink and a little too much cash in my pocket. And I was like, you know what? I am killing it. I'm gonna buy that hat. So I went up to the counter, and I'm like, hey man, how much for that hat over there? And he takes it down, and he looks at it for a second, and oh, by the way, the gentleman that owned this establishment, he was Middle Eastern, and I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not. I just don't think it's funny. You know, fuck the PC part of it. I just don't think it's funny. I don't think it helps anyway. And I know it sounds pandering, but I promise you. But here's the thing, is I don't want to take away me doing a funny accent. I'm very good at them. So I will replace his accent with an accent that I am allowed to do. Is that all right? It's a fair compromise, right? So the guy takes the hat off, and he looks at it for a second, and he goes, well, this hat right here, it's gonna be $50, mate. He slides it across the counter to me, and I pick it up, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I can't pay $50 for this hat. Come on, man. The stitching's all falling apart. The brim is made of cardboard. Like, come on, man. I really can't pay that much for this hat. That's just not fair. And I slide it back over him, and he goes, well, then perhaps you're not killing it, mate. Fuck. I did. I got swindled. I bought this stupid hat for $50. And now I wear it as much as possible to get all as much as I can out of it. And when I tell people that story, they're like, oh, so you got swindled in New York, surprise, surprise. What did that happen, like a year or two after you moved there? You know, like, no, I've been up there for 8 years. This happened 6 months ago. It doesn't matter how long you've been there, you're getting swindled in New York City. That's just gonna happen. What year are we in? 2018, it's been a long one, man. It's been a real long year for me. A lot of big changes, a lot of good changes. January of this year, I quit smoking cigarettes, finally. Thank you very much, thank you. I smoked for 14 years. That was too long, way too long. And I stopped that year. I also, by the way, I'm pretty proud of myself for this, I cut back a lot on being married. I did. Cheers. I did, I got divorced. Yeah, it was good. It's amicable. We're still buddies. There's no hard feelings in there, but it made me think about like all the weird dating stories that I've gone through. You know, when I was in my 20s and stuff, when I was dating before. It's like, what I would do is I would want to be responsible, right? But I always did it in the most irresponsible way possible. That's just my style. So like, I would go buy condoms, but from the dollar store. And the dollar store condoms, like, their gimmick isn't like, hey, don't get an STD, don't have a baby. It's like, now they come in blue. Look at that rainbow wall of condoms. Isn't that fun, kids? Go ahead and pick some out. But these condoms, the dollar store condoms, were so cheap that the coloring on the outside of the condom would sometimes rub off and stain the, let's call it the interior design of my lady friend I was with. And I had no idea this was happening until I got a phone call a couple days later, and she'd be like, Mike, why am I having a blue period? And I'm like, I don't know, Picasso. Call a doctor. Why are you calling me? She's like, you told me you were a doctor, that's why I slept with you. We're both bad people then, alright? We're both at fault here. Thank you guys so much, you've been great. I love you.